If you wouldn't mind, would you just in one or two sentences explain what each of those are so that the people watching this one have a clear understanding of what those mean?
Yeah, sure. If I mean, if it's helpful, maybe I will. Maybe the best way to describe it is to sort of talk about what they aren't.
Okay.
So, if you take the what you might call the fairly long-standing and maybe traditional approach to developing and athlete development, player development. It's what's known as a fairly linear approach, which is what we kind of know. So everybody's used to the idea of almost like drill, skill, game, that kind of approach to
Hmm.
coaching. Whereby you learn a technique and then you apply the technique in some sort of context, and then you bring that into the game. That's a fairly standard
Yeah.
way of doing things. Um, and the idea of learn technique, i.e. learn a movement pattern. By the way, technique is different from skill in the sense that the technique is the movement pattern, the skill is the application in context. So learn technique, apply it in context, take it into the competition format. Pretty traditional way of thinking about it. Well, the ecological approach, it thinks about it very differently. So it almost says, well, actually, let's work backwards from the context, so the situation, the game, or the challenge that the task that we're trying to perform. So it's a bit more task led. And what it says is, right, if I'm participating in a practice or a game of some kind, that game is going to ask me to move in certain ways in order to be able to solve the problems that the game is presenting to me. And as I explore those games or those activities or those tasks and explore the different movement solutions available to me, I learn and become more technically able. So it's working backwards from the game, if you like. So the environment acts as a stimulus. We adapt to the environment. And in so doing, we develop a series of movement capabilities that then become functional for us in the game. So what you might call the ecological approach is basically saying start with the environment, design the environment in such a way, and then us as humans, we adapt to the environment and we become more capable of movement. And it's got a lot of relevance and context attached to it. So that's the distinction, if you like. There's the sort of linear approach, the traditional approach, and what they call the non-linear approach, which is working backwards from the context.